to the face, yeah. She wanna stay. Singing to your bitch like I was Drake, yeah.
Don't just try to tell me you love me. Can't keep it real if you really don't trust me. Come with a real, you hip in the front, so you get my meals. I'm gunning for the money in the bank. Coming with a dank, scrolling in the tank, rolling with the gang. You sitting out on the sideline tripping. I go to the hole with the rock like Pippin.
Yeah. I'm okay.
Like the best ever. Welcome to World Heavyweights Live on Sports.com. I'm easy joined by Samora, young Chris, Nicholas Kohloff, aka Nicky Sins, baby.
Nicky Sins.
Big show planned for you guys today. We got Dose of Dion joining the show, fresh off his Senior Bowl tour. What?
The big
show. Yeah, that's my shit. I always want to ask you your favorite wrestler, but I forget you don't. You didn't.
Probably
partake.
Stone Cold.
Even though you don't watch?
Yeah.
That's how fucking hard Stone Cold was. Give me a hell yeah!
Hell yeah.
That's how I look at Stick and I's rivalry over Jared Goff. It's because he's kind of like my boss.
Yeah.
I feel like Stone Cold.
Get it. I 100%
Now I got the
get it.
goatee too. That's what I used to do. When he talk.
He used to waddle?
Yeah, he just fucking move his head all the time. You son of a bitch! At least, I don't know, the video games he used to play, that's what he did.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that's the bottom line.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
That sounds
Every time we talk, they fucking... All right, whatever. Welcome to World Heavyweights Live on Sports.com. I'm joined by Samora X and Chris
Hello.
Nicholas Kohloff. This is broke today. I don't know if it's in talks or if it's done. This is from Ariel Helwani. Jake Paul has worked his way up to fighting Canelo. Canelo Alvarez. The Canelo. That's absolutely insane. But if you're Canelo, you blame him?
No.
The money.
They're going to make so much money.
He's going to make so much money.
And also, Dylan Dennis fighting KSI.
Yeah, I saw
Did you
that.
see this? You hear about this?
But I don't
care
hate
about that?
KSI, but I hate Dylan Dennis.
Yeah, Dylan Dennis is...
And he absolutely embarrassed
turd.
himself against Logan Paul, which was like, you've been fighting forever.
Yeah.
Like, this not, whatever. Dylan Dennis is a fucking, that kid's
Well,
a
he's
mess.
not a boxer, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, but
He's a jiu-jitsu guy, you know?
still, though, like, why do you suck so bad? I don't know. It's just, if you've been doing it, you've been doing it way longer.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're right, though. You're not a boxer. Makes sense. But he also just fought like a bitch. Meant to get to this a little bit earlier yesterday that Jared Goff had won the Pro Bowl games MVP.
Didn't watch a second of it.
So, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The JG MVP. He split it with a Vikings player.
Who?
I think it was Cam Bynum. He had pick 6 in the game. Did you see Jameer Gibbs' interception?
I did see Jameer Gibbs' interception.
Yeah.
He took off. He took off, dude. He almost ran it back.
They literally, like, people from the field on the side started coming off the field to tackle him.
Yeah.
It was bullshit. He was going to get a pick 6.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Pro Bowl game. It's not a real game, so we just do whatever we want. That's how they play.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit about the Pro Bowl.
I watched a little bit of
I
the
didn't watch
games.
a second of it.
You're lying.
No.
I sat here with you and
we
watched.
watched that.
I was going to say.
That was the only thing I watched.
I'm about to say. Nick, what were you about to say, though? I apologize.
The defensive guy, he won defensive player. It wasn't split like 2 offensive.
Oh, they can only afford 1 trophy, though?
I don't think it was just 1 trophy.
It was.
No way.
Swear to God. I think I sent it in Slack like 2 days ago. I'll find it if not. Yeah, no, they split the trophy.
The boys
At least
showed up.
for the photo. Maybe they're like, yeah, we got you. We'll send yours in the mail or something like that.
I got a very quick hint of breaking news.
All right, let's hear it.
One sec, looking for it. All right, this is from John Morosi. The Red Sox and Cardinals have had a recent communication about Nolan Arenado.
Ooh.
If the trade talks move forward, they could have implications on Alex Bregman's market. Of note, Cardinals exec Chaim Bloom has close knowledge of Boston's prospects, so I'm assuming he came from Boston.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Hopefully Arenado goes to the Red Sox.
That'd be cool. That'd be very cool if
Yeah.
that just checks off another guy.
team.
They're another team that
Houston.
the Tigers don't have to compete with.
Yep.
Houston was talking about it like it's
Past tense.
It's a past tense. Yeah, they weren't mentioning him in the present tense. They're saying like we lost Alex Bregman, so that's good. You like to hear that? I mean, the less competition for Chris Illich, the better. You know, he's got a lot on his plate right now. We're gonna get into that later.
Are we?
But
Yeah. At least we got some answers.
yeah.
At least, what we believe will be answers. And are you satisfied with the answer?
I mean, no.
What?
I wouldn't say those were answers.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it now?
That he's getting divorced.
And the implications it'll have on the Detroit Tigers. Make sure you stay tuned.
Stay tuned. MSU and Red Wings don't play tonight till 10 p.m.
Both of them.
Yeah, but
They don't start until 10 p.m.
we're going to be up.
I mean, yeah, but it still sucks. You got to be up until 1.
Yeah, but brother, me and you like bounce back.
Yeah, but I'm laying in bed doing that, trying to go to sleep.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
fair.
working.
up,
That's fair.
I'm trying to be in bed by at least midnight.
Who are the Red Wings playing?
The Kraken.
Oh yeah, that's
Shitty
right.
poopy Kraken.
Yeah. I mean,
Should definitely
hockey's
take care of business in this one.
hockey's sneaky like that though.
Yeah, no, anything can happen. Like, it's West Coast trip. You've been playing a lot of teams outside of your home, but you got to beat this Kraken team, and I expect them to beat this Kraken team. It's not a good team.
The Pistons got last night too. That was annoying. What the fuck? We kind of texted about it a little bit in the group chat. The final play, I hope everybody knows that was not the first read. That was the like. It wasn't supposed to be an alley-oop finish to fucking Tobias
They were not
Harris.
setting up an alley-oop to Tobias to tie the game.
However, Cade inbounding the ball.
To.
How'd you feel about that?
You have to. Cade has to inbound it. You don't have anybody else on your team that you trust to inbound in that situation.
What about
Sarr do it?
Sasser?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely not.
Because of size?
Oh, you said Sasser?
Yeah.
I said Sasser. I would trust him to throw a dime lob if he had to.
Nah.
I trust Sar.
Yeah.
I trust Sasser more than Asar. No surprise there.
Yeah. What? Why do you trust Sasser so much? Because he's a point guard?
In case he has to shoot it from him out of bounds.
Yes.
His playmaking has impressed you?
I mean, I think he can throw a good pass. Yeah, he's a point. That's like number one thing you have to be good at is passing.
I feel like Sar's just as good at passing.
And much bigger.
And he's bigger, yeah. Basketball savant.
I mean, hear me out. How about we make Asar the secondary target instead of Tobias?
Asar can't be on the floor in that situation because they know he's not shooting it.
It's just a one possession.
But I mean, it's 1 second
his
left.
athleticism
He's not.
gives you more
But
range.
you can just play completely off of him because you know he's not going to shoot the ball. You know, if they're giving the ball to Asar at all, it's going to be an alley-oop. So that's why he wasn't on the floor, because at least Tobias has the threat of making a jump shot.
And look, to be fair, too, like, the lob has worked for the Pistons this year. So, like, I can't all the way criticize it. And, again, it wasn't the first read. I just personally, I would like some type of option where I get that if you're going for the lob, it has to be Cade. Cade's the only one that can throw the lob. But if you're just setting a screen for a Cade jump shot, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with living and dying by a Cade jump shot, even though he was shooting poorly yesterday. Same with Malik Beasley. I'm okay with one of those type of plays as well. So, you know, I get that if you're going for the lob exclusively, Cade is the only one that's throwing that pass. But if you get somebody else in there to pass it, anybody else inbound it, Asar, anybody, and just give Cade a screen and he can get off a good look with 1.6 seconds, I'm also okay living and dying by that.
I just think having Asar inbounded in that situation, first and foremost, I'm not blaming the game on that play at all. Like,
No.
Trey made a fucking phenomenal shot.
Yeah.
He sealed the deal. But I just think having Cade out there as like a recipient of the ball, the defense has to be more attentive to that. More eyeballs are on Cade Cunningham in that situation. Maybe opening up a situation for Malik Beasley or, like Chris said, just live and die with Cade making the shot. But it is what it is. They took an L. Hate to lose to the Hawks, but
Yeah, it sucks. It's a game you should have won. You felt like, you fought back into it a couple times. You had a couple options down the stretch there. Obviously, Asar fumbles that one out of bounds when he had the breakaway dunk. Cade Cunningham has the turnover there.
That one fucking sucked.
Yeah,
He was on a heater.
Yeah,
and we were just texting about it. He fucking went and ripped him up again.
Yeah, and he goes for the dunk and fumbles it out of bounds. Cade Cunningham turns it over to Dyson Daniels. There were a couple bad plays at the end there, but again, that's you need another ball. You need another ball handler. You need another playmaker. You need another guy that you could put in there down the stretch to initiate some offense. That's where you're missing Jaden Ivey very much so.
I'm with you, Flannel Sam, in this Woodward Sports chat. He says, I hate losing to the Hawks. I do too, man. They're just not special enough to lose to.
No.
Like, they're not bad, but they're not like – that's the threshold, I feel like. You want to be beating the Hawks consistently because then you're a good team.
To be fair, though, they are 2-0 against them on the season before that game. So they're 2-1. So, like, this can be one of those games that's just one of those games. I don't think there's – yes, there's things to take away from it, but I also think that these kind of things happen over the course of an 82-game season. Like, I would have loved I think if there's a world where Asar is guarding Trey that final play, I don't think Trey makes that shot. Give him the last 2 minutes before he had Trey in jail. Like, you know, there's so many things that could have changed that game. So I think it's one of those ones where sometimes it doesn't go your way. You know, you're not going to be the fraud Vikings and win every game by 1 point 2 years ago like they did or whatever they did. Like, you know, sometimes you're going to lose these close games, and that's what it was.
Chris, it'd be like the Red Wings losing the Kraken tonight.
I feel like it's got to even out, though, at some point, though, because when we lose to, like, a team like the Hawks, it's like I still want to beat a team like, you know, I would say maybe the Pacers that are, like, just a slightly step above us, you know, and I just feel like
well, they are a 500 team.
To solidify your... Yeah, they are right now.
I mean,
is that who they are, though, I guess is
I
a
think
big
we're
question.
Miami.
Oh, no, we are.
They beat
We're
Miami.
No,
That's
is that who they are, though, and will be? Like,
Yeah,
just a 500
probably
team.
around 500.
Yeah,
Do
around
you expect
500.
you expect them to be more than a 500 team?
That's
I
40
don't know,
wins.
like 5 over. I mean, at this point, the expectations keep skyrocketing for me. I want to think that they're a better team than just a
Microwave is
500.
back.
This isn't a microwave take. It's just you want to see them take that and like step from getting away from a 500 team.
They won 14 games last year.
And this is a team
Microwave
that literally.
sense.
All right, are you happy we lost to the Hawks? I'm pissed off.
No, I'm not happy.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now. You lost to the
No,
Hawks.
but I think
this is a
expecting
game
this team to
you're
be like
favored
5
to
games
win.
over 500
You're
is a
favored
little
to-
ridiculous.
You're favored to win at home. I think you got to take care of business against the Hawks, and they weren't able to do so. I thought they laid a flat out egg last night.
Yeah, but they've got up against contending teams this year and won games.
and their
like,
second
so
best
they've-
player broke his leg.
Yeah, they've had a
Hawks
good
had
season.
Jalen Johnson out.
Jalen Duren's doing just fine. I don't know why you're talking about his leg like that. I'm playing.
I don't think we need to crash out over one loss. Like I don't. I think these happen in the course of a game. Every single team loses a game like this. You know, OKC loses games like this. Cleveland loses games like this. All the top teams in the NBA lose a game. Sometimes basketball just doesn't go your way, and that's what it is. So I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Am I the only one who doesn't hate Trae Young, by the way?
Yeah.
I have to root for
I
him.
mean, you're a
I'm
Knicks
tied to
fan.
him
I
in
get
fantasy basketball.
yours, like where that resides. What were you saying, Chris?
I have to root for him. I'm tied to him in my big money league in fantasy basketball.
Before the money league,
Sucks.
did you hate him?
Yeah. Yeah, because I had him last year in the money league, and he absolutely sold me. And this year, he fell to me, and I had no choice but to take this guy. I was like, hello, darkness, my old friend. It was terrible.
I liked him at Oklahoma. Like, I
Yeah.
would watch Oklahoma games when he would play there. Just he's so much fun to watch, or at least he was more back in the day when he was just drilling those Steph Curry type threes.
Yeah.
You know, so I've always been like a kind of a fan, but when he does this bullshit against the Pistons and just flops all around all the fucking
That's
time,
what- yeah,
it
that's
pisses
just
me
what
off.
he
Foul,
does.
baby.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
That's what he
it's
does,
nasty.
and that's why people hate him, because he
Yeah.
plays like an annoying brand of basketball to watch.
I hate him because he won't go to fucking Turkey and just get that shit fixed.
It does look a little dust bunny.
It bothers me.
He will never
You're too
escape-
rich to be like walking around like that, fam.
He'll never
You got the
escape-
fake teeth. Why not fix your fucking hair?
He'll never escape that one Facebook picture he has from when he's like 14 or whatever. That one goes viral. I see it like all the time.
You gotta
still.
find it.
Yeah, he escaped it to me. I don't.
Yeah, it escaped.
I can't.
Escaped. I feel like I've seen it, but I don't remember what you're talking about.
It's the one where he's like he has like a douchebag like pose. He's like in high school and he's like biting his shirt or whatever. Like
Oh.
it's fucking.
I'm sure you got some of those if I look deep
People-
enough.
That floods the timeline every time this guy has a terrible game.
I can't speak on anyone's Facebook past. I'll leave
You've
it
seen
at
it.
that.
You've seen
I'm losing my Facebook, by the way.
What do you mean you're losing it?
So you have to like
That's
set
where
up
you have to be. You're old.
two-factor authentication for like whatever privacy shit they have. I don't know my password, so it's this most I almost said a bad word. Most dumb thing I've ever had to do or ever experienced. Really, you go to reset your password, and then you obviously hit the forgot password option. The recovery option after you hit forgot password is typing in your fucking password. What is the logic in that? So in 15 days, I will no longer be a member of Facebook, not by any of my own, anything like that. My account's gonna get locked in.
You can't like do reset password.
Well, it's crazy because like they have that's what I was trying to do. And then reset password process, you got to type in the old password, and then your new one twice.
What about forgot password?
And then it asked me to type in my fucking password.
There's no way.
No,
I
that's
This
swear,
is what
I
happened.
actually screen
Okay.
recorded it.
Something like this happened like on my Twitter. It was saying like, yeah, check your email to reset password, but the Twitter was hacked by a different email, so it was like 6755 at blah blah blah.com. Like, check that email. I'm like, this isn't my email. Clearly, like, give me my fucking password back. It's horrible.
But that's even different though, because at least you had the option to reset it through your email.
True, but it wasn't
I
my
have to
email.
fucking type in my password that I don't know to reset my. That makes zero fucking sense.
That doesn't make sense at all.
Did you grab that picture by chance or no? It's okay if you didn't. We'll grab it after.
Yes, I did. I did that one.
Here you go, Nick. Here's your proof. NFL's going broke.
Damn.
Yeah, kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that's
So
super
what
lame.
do they like?
Who is that guy?
Buy
That's
them?
honestly it's like a nuisance too. Like, it's like
That's-
if you had to bring that home and have it at your home, like
Yeah, and like, do
I don't have enough
they
big enough
each get it
space for
for
this?
a week or like?
yeah, it'd take custody of it.
Yeah, they got split custody on the MVP.
You have to pick up the trophy. I'm working tonight.
Jared Goff gets it on holidays, and
It's your weekend. I had plans. All right.
Yeah, the Pro
Sorry
Bowl
for bringing up
sucks.
sore stuff.
All right, we're going to break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk some Lions because there was some more news about a potential player that the Lions could land all over the place. Seen it from multiple different places. But let me tell you about Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can work out and get a full body workout in 30 minutes. All memberships include fitness training. You get all that for just $15 a month, or upgrade to the Black Card and get you some amenities like hydro massage, total body enhancement, and all that good stuff. Planet Fitness, join the in-club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where fitness is essential.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
head on over to woodwardsports.com. Click that shot tab and get the best Detroit sports merch in the game. Hoodies, tees, hats, all that. All your favorite teams at your favorite network, Woodward Sports. Go ahead and click that shot tab today. Get some brand new merch.
What up, though? Welcome back to World Heavyweights Live, WoodwardSports.com. I'm joined by
Live.
Smo Rax, Chris, Nicholas Sins. Smash that like button, be a friend, tell a friend, and share the stream. Spinny, I was hesitating getting to this one.
What? You put it first on the prep
I
sheet?
did put it first in the prep. It's just, what the all right. Cooper Kupp, the Rams are trading.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's not performing to the level of his contract. His contract is $20 million. Mm-hmm. He's not playing at a $20 million level. He's just not that caliber player anymore.
No.
He's 31 years old. There's a lot of soft tissue injuries. And Puka Nacua has arrived. He is their guy. I've seen it multiple times now. I've had people message me about it. I saw it on NFL Rumors. The Detroit Lions would be the landing spot. Actually, I think it was Neil.
Yeah.
Neil's the one that said it. Somebody called him and said, yeah, everyone's saying Detroit.
Yeah.
No. Absolutely fucking not. What a dog shit, dumbass fucking move would that be? To trade for a $20 million wide receiver 3 when it comes to this specific football team. Offense is not the issue.
No.
I'm not trading for a $20 million wide receiver 3, 31 years old, multiple injuries. No. There's no fucking way that's true. I refuse to believe that. I'd be pissed. Now, if he becomes a Detroit Lion, I can see that happening.
You said
but
you'd
not
eat your
via
shoe
trade.
if they trade. You said you'd eat your shoe if they traded for him.
I'd eat my fucking shoe.
If they
like,
trade
I
for
guess maybe Brad maybe have like a relationship where he would renegotiate that contract for him to benefit them.
Yeah.
Okay, why is he not doing that for Les Snead? You know he's best friends with Matthew Stafford. I don't think he's in the business or interested in negotiating his contract. I think, personally, he's going to get cut. Who is going to pay $20 million for a... listen, the Great White Hope. The Triple Crown. Super Bowl MVP. Like, he was amazing. He's not that player anymore.
It's more than $20 million. In 2025, his cap hit would be $29 million. That would be, if he's cut pre-June 1, it would be a $5 million savings. They'd have a $24 million cap hit on there. Let's see, if he's traded pre-June 1, they'd save $12 million. And the dead money on that would be $17 million. So it seems whatever team, if you trade for him pre-June 1, you'd get him at $12 million next year.
Yeah, I'm just going off of what Adam Schefter tweeted, which was like the $20 million.
This is
no fucking way.
Per over the cap.
And not a fucking chance.
Is next year his cap hit is $29 million. And if the Rams trade him pre-June 1, they would save $12 million on that, and the dead cap would be $17 million.
Yeah.
Would you do it for $12 million?
No, because it's not $12 million. It's $20 million. I'm not trading for a $20 million wide receiver 3. There's just, why would you give up assets to hurt yourself? Everyone's bitching about acquiring Myles Garrett, who's a fucking candidate to make the Hall of fucking Fame.
Yeah.
4-time All-Pro. 100-plus sacks. Only one season not double-digit sacks. Everyone's crying about that trade. But I see the same motherfuckers like, oh, yeah, Cooper Kupp, yeah, come on over, bud. What? What world am I in right now?
Again, I don't know, like, because like it says right here on Over the Cap that they would save $12 million on that hit if they traded him pre-June 1. So isn't that the number you'd be getting, is the $12 million cap hit?
You'd be getting $20 million, and Adam Schefter has the breakdown. I'll find it for you. It is a mixture. It's so similar to, remember how we tried to break it down, Zadarius Smith's contract?
Yeah. And
then you're like, okay, there's this accrued like 2.5 for like each year he was in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably some shit like that. I will get the breakdown from Adam Schefter though. It is, where is it?
Because yeah, it says
there it is.
Over the cap, his cap number is $29 million.
$7.5 million roster bonus plus a 12.5 base. So yeah, 12.5 is his base, like you said, but the roster bonus of him just making a team is 7.5. So 19.85 and $20 million this year in 2025, and then 19.85 in 26.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
No.
He's getting cut. There's not a single team dumb enough to do that. And if it's the Detroit Lions, God, oh, so you're going to question that? Yes, the fuck I am. If they trade for a goddamn wide receiver 3 who's going to cost you $20 million, you're absolutely fucking correct. Because that's the other thing, too. Wide receiver 3, because you have Jamison Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown right now. Amon-Ra St. Brown does the shit that Cooper Kupp does right now. Better at this point, and then there's other careers. Yeah, I would question Brad Holmes if he did that dumb shit. Now, I'm not opposed to Cooper Kupp becoming a Detroit Lion. I'm opposed to Cooper Kupp becoming a Detroit Lion via trade.
On that number. Yeah, you don't bring in. You're not going to sign Tim Patrick because he's going to be your wide receiver 3 and he would cost you like $6 million.
Yeah.
On the cap hit. So why would you? That doesn't make sense. The only way it would make sense is if they restructure him and get him on dirt cheap.
But then again, if he's restructured, why aren't you staying in L.A.? You know what I'm saying? You don't think they tried that route?
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, you won a fucking Super Bowl MVP here. You and Matt Stafford butt fuck each other during film sessions.
They do. They make out.
Hey, I'm not judging.
I don't know,
just
man.
like to shoot straight.
No, I do not want Cooper Kupp via trade. Not for a 5th, not for a 6th. I don't care if it was fucking Sam I Am on a green boat, on a float, whatever the fuck. No, I don't want him. Now, if he gets cut via free agency, come on over.
Yeah, I do.
Sorry, I crashed out.
It's all right. I mean, you're crashing out over a hypothetical situation, which is kind of funny, but it doesn't make sense. You're right, and I don't think the Lions would do that. I don't know.
That makes zero fucking sense to do. Nick, I know you're a big fan of the Watts. How you feeling about this possible
You love
acquisition?
Cooper Kupp.
Right. I'm a big Cooper Kupp fan, but I gotta say, as much as I want him,
No. Hard pass.
I mean, you just crashed out for all of the right reasons, Easy. I mean,
Okay.
there's no chance that Brad Holmes does this unless he gets him, for the cheap. You're not paying that kind of contract. You're not adding that contract to your wide receiver room by any means. For every reason why some people, crazy people out there, don't want Myles Garrett. You're adding a third wide receiver who's like a
For the same price!
For the same
For the
price.
same fucking price!
Who's not a Hall of Fame like defensive end. That blows my mind that some of the same people. Crazy. I mean, I would add Cooper Kupp to this wide receiver room. I just think he's a great wide receiver, and he was on pace for 1,000 yards if he could stay healthy still. But you don't do it for that price. You do it dirt cheap if he wants to go chase another ring to prove his team wrong, maybe.
Yeah. Again, I don't know who in their right minds would do that. Like maybe I don't even fucking like $20 million for a guy that's not performing to that
Patriots, maybe?
Yeah, maybe if you need a little bit of a culture change. You know what I'm saying? Patriots love the Watts.
He caught 67 balls for 710 yards and 6 touchdowns last year.
Missed a couple games.
Missed a couple games.
And that's the other part of it too. Like the reason why there's a decline is the injury. He plays a physical brand of football. Like I loved watching Cooper Kupp play because he's one of those guys who's going to fight for extra yards. He catches the ball over the middle of the field, taking damage that way. Like I think Cooper Kupp. If this was 2021, different conversation. It's 2025.
Yeah, it's not the same Cooper Kupp, but he's getting paid the same Cooper Kupp kind of money.
Did you guys see Dr. Detroit in the Woodward Sports group chat? Oh no, he is injury prone. Brad loves those clowns.
That is true. That is true.
Brad does love his injury prone guys. Like listen, he'll come via free agency if it happens. He won't come as much as Teflon Don's mom, who's talking shit in the chat about the Detroit Lions. But he'll come via free agency if it does. But like maybe the Broncos grab him because they got a quarterback in a rookie deal.
Chargers.
Yeah. Whoever could Chargers. That'd be a great move.
Got the double white hope out there with McConkey and Kupp.
I want it.
Conk my cup.
Yeah,
Conquer my cup.
Anybody with a rookie quarterback or just zero wide receivers can make it happen. But if I'm spending $20 million this year on
like the Commanders,
somebody via trade, yeah, could be
Cooper Kupp and Terry McLaurin.
But again, I doubt they trade for him because if you don't trade for him, he's getting cut, and then you just offer more money.
Yeah,
and you win it that way. If I'm paying $20 million for a guy via trade, it's Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. It's just not in the stars. It is getting thrown around a lot. Does that concern you? It seems like you're crashing out because you think it could.
Potentially.
I'm just crashing out because shit that defies logic like that pisses me off a little bit. You know, like
2 GMs, 1 cup, says Tom Bregman.
And all due respect to Neil Source is the same fucking one that said that other dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, sorry, that was mean. But
that was very mean. You're a spiteful person.
I hope it is because that means it's not coming true. I don't know. It just defies logic by every fucking sense of the meaning.
I think this is also because of the fact of the position the Lions are in. Like we talked about it, of the contending teams, we're one of the best in terms of cap space. So I think naturally these type of conversations are going to be floated our way, even if it doesn't make any sense at all.
And the Brad Holmes less need factor is there. The Cooper Kupp, Jared Goff factor is there. So there is familiarity with these guys, but yeah, it doesn't
mean
no.
Absolutely fucking not. We do have a guest waiting to come on, though. We have Dose of Dion,
the GOAT,
who was just at the Senior Bowl. We'll talk about him, about some of the prospects he's seen, as well as possible trades for the Detroit Lions. But first, tell us about Feldman Chevrolet.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. Make sure you guys check them out every Monday. Every other Monday, Woodward's there. Feldman Automotive, check them out.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
At Lady Jane's, we take the chore out of getting a haircut. Our talented stylist will deliver an industry-leading haircut, relaxing scalp massage, hot lather, neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
What up, welcome back to World Heavyweights Live on Sports.com. Me, Joe by Small Rex, young Chris, Nicholas Kohloff. Smash the like button, be a friend, tell a friend. I got to deal with some technical difficulties. Our guy, you got him?
No, it's just sent to another one.
I'm just saying to everybody, like Herbert Parker, J-Mo's trade bait, so they're not fucking trading Jameson Williams.
Unless.
What would make sense in trading Jameson Williams? Getting rid of a 1,000-yard receiver you have on 2 more years of a rookie deal when you're trying to sign bigger guys and bring in more guys to win a Super Bowl? How would that benefit you? Like, come on, guys. They're not trading Jameson Williams. It's not going to happen. Jameson Williams is extremely important to this team. Not just what he does, but the contract he's on.
If you had to put money on it right now, Spencer, would you put money on them making a big splash like a Myles Garrett or somebody that becomes available, or them just kind of making a couple free agent pickups, using their draft picks, maybe trading up in the draft and getting somebody that way? Which way do you see Brad Holmes going as of now?
Keep doing what he's doing. That's what I would put my money on, because he hasn't shown us that he's going to go out there and get that big splash free agent or big splash trade. Obviously, he hasn't been in the situation to need to do that, and we talk about it all the time now. I would love to see him do that, because this team doesn't need 5 rookies or 5 guys in the draft to come in here and be difference makers anymore. You're a player away from winning the Super Bowl, so I think it would make sense to trade your picks to get a big player, but you're going to keep the guys that you have on this team. You're keeping the band together. Like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, I could see a Jameson Williams trade, but not right now.
No.
It'd be like when the contracts start to get a little funky after you trade for Myles Garrett.
Yeah, that would be the goal, obviously, is to bring in Myles Garrett, but we'll see what happens there. I think everybody's in lockstep, though, that the Cooper Kupp stuff doesn't really make sense with the amount of money he's making and what you're trying to do with this team. Obviously, you still have guys on this team that you want to re-sign, and Cooper Kupp wouldn't be the guy that blocks you. Like, you're not going to trade for Cooper Kupp to block you from signing Kirby Joseph or Jamison Williams. If you're going to get blocked from signing one of those guys, it's going to be for Myles Garrett. It's going to be for a difference maker. It's going to be for someone in their prime, not a guy falling out of the back end. So that is the difference, though, is like if you trade for Myles Garrett or Cooper Kupp, you're probably going to rework their deal either way. And Myles Garrett's would be more money and a bigger deal, and Cooper Kupp's would be less money on a longer deal. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, the thing too, the only thing where I'll concede to like a Myles Garrett to the Detroit Lions argument is when you start saying he would get a new contract, because yeah, that would mess things up. But in all honesty, by every accounts that I've read and everything I know about Myles Garrett in terms of like what's been spoken about him from people who do know him and people in the media as well, if he says something, he means it.
Yeah.
This is not a money pursuit type deal. Maybe he'll want you to guarantee that money. I can see that. Like in a situation of a trade, I don't know if that necessarily means that he's getting re-signed right away. Unless, again, if it's something where the team is like, hey, kind of like what happened with Carlton Davis, we need to make some money here to do this and that. And that type of situation.
Steven DeVierno says, Spenny, J-Mo is a difference maker, but has shown issues and will cost $30 million per year sooner than later. Trade him for Myles, draft a speedster receiver, pick 2, restart the contract clock on a wide receiver. 1, if you're trading for Myles Garrett, you're not going to have the draft capital to get a guy of Jamison Williams' caliber. 2, why would the Browns do that? If they're going to have to pay him $30 million a year, they don't want that. They've got to pay Deshaun Watson. They're not looking to pay a wide receiver $30 million a year when they don't have a quarterback. They want contract. They don't want contracts. They want draft picks. They wouldn't want Jamison Williams. They don't want people saying Amon-Ra St. Brown, which absolutely fucking ridiculous. If you said something about Amon-Ra St. Brown being traded, which people were saying earlier, they don't want that.
No.
They want draft picks. They need draft picks, as many as they can get. They don't want a guy that they're going to have for one more year and then have to re-sign for a $30 million deal. Jamison Williams' most value to this team right now is playing for this team right now, on the deal he's on, in the space he's in. And the Browns don't even want him. Like, the Browns would not want him.
Yeah,
the only one I could see out of these guys that you have, the young guys that they would have to re-sign in a year or two that the Browns would actually want, would be Brian Branch.
Would you if that's what it took? If they're like, hey,
no,
we want that skinny lad.
J-Mo?
Yeah.
I don't even want to say it. But
we
yeah,
talked
probably.
about that during trade
He's
deadline.
got Colt-like fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're dangerous.
But it's like that is not something the Cleveland Browns want. They don't want an expiring deal for a guy that they're going to have to pay $30 million a year for, which he's not going to make $30 million a year.
Shout out to Phil. I believe it was Ben with a bad scheme on the bad games. I'm with you, Phil. Fuck Ben Johnson.
And we already talked about this, like with the J-Mo contract. I expect him to be right around that $20 to $22 million a year range.
Nick?
With guys like Terry McLaurin, Stephon Diggs, T. Higgins, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin.
What's the question here, Easy?
I guess, I mean, I know how you feel about the Cooper Kupp stuff. I know you're pro Myles Garrett. If it took a J-Mo to go get Myles Garrett, would you do it?
If I'm giving up J-Mo in one first, yeah, I'm probably doing it. I really am. Like, it's not even a problem. Yes, I am doing it. Yes, I would. Without a doubt, I would do that.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
but if that was on the board, that's what they wanted. They thought he was going to be a game breaker to make their offense better, the way he makes our offense better. Yes, I would do that, and then I'd go sign Cooper Kupp after his contract is abysmal or not abysmal.
Yeah,
you know?
Jamison Williams is staying here. Jamison Williams, like I said, the best thing that Jamison Williams can do for this Lions team is to be Jamison Williams on a contract for 2 more years where you're paying him $5 million a year. Like, that is extremely important for this team going forward. They're not going to get rid of that.
Yeah, J-Mo's not going to be in the equation. It's going to be picks, and I do think it's something that could happen. It's just, does Brad want to do it? And then, yeah, you can talk yourself out of it, but like you're so close, dude. And Nick, you and I talked about it last year. I keep going back to that moment. Like,
yeah,
we looked at the Super Bowl champions. They've all had dog ass defensive lines. This year's Super Bowl matchup, 2 dog-ass defensive lines. The Eagles got the better of the situation, but what?
This dude, Dr. Detroit, saying Hooker is good bait for them and picks. Everybody who is saying Hendon effing Hooker, he was the 3rd-string quarterback on this Detroit Lions team for a high school coach. What are we doing? This guy has no value. Stop acting like he does.
Yeah, you guys need
He
to
has the
wake
most
up.
value as your backup quarterback. And he doesn't, and the system's gone that he was in now. He did not get played in the playoff game when Goff went hurt. We had a high school football coach come in as our backup quarterback, not Hendon Hooker.
If you had to get rid of one of your young stars that's not re-signed yet to make a deal like this done, I'm getting rid of Sam Laporta.
Sandy, what are you talking about, Sandy? I'm being very logical, like a 2+2 situation. It's not being negative. That's just being realistic. The Detroit Lions aren't going to trade for Cooper Kupp simply because of cap space and that he's not 2021 Cooper Kupp. Sorry.
Yeah.
Whoa, chill, Nick. This is Anakin.
Whoa, take it easy, man.
Yeah, chill my guy, Dr. Detroit, a little bit, you know? But I'm with you. I think a lot
Hooker,
of people...
Hooker doesn't move the needle that much.
Yeah, a lot of people are
moves at
definitely
zero.
misjudging his value. Like, the fact that Teddy Bridgewater is the one that stepped into that game and Hendon Hooker wasn't even active for it,
Killed his value.
very telling. Very telling sign of him and his development.
Yeah.
And as a guy that backed that pick and backed that player and hoped for that player, that's... You got to connect dots right there.
Yeah.
He ain't what they've been wanting him to be.
Nope.
Hendon Hooker is 27 years old.
Yeah, Hendon Hooker's not moving the needle for anybody in the National Football League. If you
What are we doing?
if you want Myles Garrett, you're going to have to give the Browns probably 3 picks. At least 2 of them being first-round picks. They're not looking for a contract to take over because they kind of can't. They're not looking for a guy with 1 year left on his rookie deal to sign for $30 million because that does not fit their system or their timeline. They're looking for draft picks, and that's it, because they need to rebuild just like the Lions did.
Literally doing
And the difference between them and where the Lions were is the Lions could move off of Matthew Stafford. Absolutely nobody on God's green earth is taking Deshaun Watson's contract after he gets tugged every night and he blew both of his legs out.
All three
legs of Deshaun Watson have been blown out. Nobody's taking that contract, and they're locked into it. It's 100% guaranteed. That's their fault.
Arf, Nick, LOL, using high school coaches slander. LOL. It's not slander against Titty Bridgewater, like Tavy in the titty booth over
Phil
there.
says Laporta on a rookie deal, too. Yeah, I know. That's why I said out of all of the guys that we haven't signed yet, that's the one I would go with.
It's the fact that Hooker didn't run away with the backup job. Like, that should have been easy, clear
had
as
all
day.
season.
All
Yeah.
season. They go with the guy who was literally coaching all year long instead of the third-round draft pick that's
Gun
been
Guy
in your
says
system for 3
Hooker
years.
is cheap. Browns need cheap. They could draft someone cheaper than Hendon Hooker and probably get more playing time out of him.
Well, it's just not even like a cheap. Why would they? Like, he's not good right now.
He's not moving
he's
the
not
needle
a good
in any
football
trade.
player.
Yeah.
They're not going to trade for a not good football player. If he didn't, he was literally inactive for the playoff game. Like, they're not trading for Hendon Hooker, but they'll grab those 2 first-round picks, pick 28 and pick 32. If you guys know your draft, you know what 32 is. That's Super Bowl champions.
Mm-hmm.
So bring Myles Garrett home. We may try to work on getting Deon on the phone if this last link doesn't work. But before then, we got to tell you about Dr. Pierce.
Dr. Pierce, attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays during Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Congratulations to the real coach of the year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports. Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
It's locally roasted specialty coffee dropped off right at your doorstep. Make sure you subscribe at SabbathCoffeeRoasters.com. Use code word Woodward to get 25% off your first subscription order. SabbathCoffeeRoasters.com.
What up, though, and welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights Live, WoodSports.com. I'm Easy, joined by Spimo Rax, young Chris, Nicholas Kohloff, and hopefully we're also joined by Dosa Dion 2.0.
Yo, am I good? What's up?
Yes, man. What up, dude?
Dude, I'm sitting here looking at Cade Cunningham for some reason. You know what I mean? I'm looking at your post on X.
Let's go.
I'm struggling, dude. I'm looking at.
Come on.
I got a black screen, so I'm looking good. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at Cade's face and dunking on guys. That's what I'm doing right now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you gonna become a Pistons fan or what? Are you like? Why are you looking at Cade Cunningham right now?
Easy, don't do me like this. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people watching. You know. So,
That's a conversation for another day.
One of those things, you know. Yeah. That's a behind the scenes conversation. Easy. You know what I mean? That's just one of those kind of things. But I will tell the people, anybody watching, if you're sleeping on the Wizards, we got 8 wins.
Okay, all right.
I'm just saying.
You expose yourself. Now everyone knows.
But,
you're a Wizards fan. Gross.
Hey, Easy, I got my jersey a couple weeks ago, bro. I hung that thing up. That's clean. You got to admit, they got some fire jerseys. Just a side note, jerseys look good.
I do own a Wizards jersey.
Who's both of you?
Oh, come on.
Who's? I mean, the Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah.
Lived
Cassius
through.
Winston.
Okay, Michigan State guy.
He actually made, my man Spenmo Rax actually made me a Wizards fan. You could tell him the story of how that happened if you want to.
That is a complete lie.
Dan, whose jersey did you buy on the Wizards, bro?
Come on, man. Easy look, bro. You've seen the rumors, dog. Kevin Durant's coming to the Wizards now. Like,
they are the betting favorite.
They're the betting favorite for Kevin Durant?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
They're the betting favorite to land Kevin Durant.
I mean, we've been the betting favorite to land everybody. It's Detroit Lions, Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson, Derrick Henry, everyone. So that means it's
He's
not
from
going to happen.
D.C.
Yeah, but, like, come on.
If he just wants to retire, go.
Betting favorite to land Max Crosby.
Yeah.
You know? He's from Michigan.
It's fair.
Speaking of Michigan, you're not from Michigan. Well, either way, you left down south Alabama for the Senior Bowl. Had your eyes out there with Roundtable Sports. Killed it, by the way. I see you interviewing all the guys. Who stood out the most to you?
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate it. No, the Senior Bowl was amazing. I mean, to me, the Senior Bowl, I always look at it as like this is when you start getting into the draft stuff for me, because it's not paying attention to it.
Yeah.
So it's always like that foundation. It's like, let me just see how much I can gather in like 3 days, and then we'll just go from there. So I had heard things about, like, I knew the tight end room was pretty good. We had did some offensive work before, but I didn't do anything on the defense. So I was completely, I don't know what I'm going to see. But, man, it was the entire defensive front. And as a Lions fan, I think we're all kind of looking for that this offseason. I think everybody in some way is looking for a piece up there. We expect at some point that's going to be added. And to just see the depth of it was crazy. I mean, I kept asking, like, this is the Senior Bowl. There's people that just passed out, that skipped on this. It's that loaded this year. So, for me, there was a lot of guys. I think there was a ton of guys that showed out, in the front. And I think the big thing that stood out was, like, we're talking like edge rushers, pass rushers specifically. It's the middle rounds are going to be so talented. Like, there was guys coming into the year, North Carolina, that was like, okay, these might be the top edge rushers. You get to the Senior Bowl and you're like, man, it's so loaded in the middle rounds that you're going to have your pick of what style are we after. For me, I want to just throw out a name because I just did a bit. Demetrius Knight, linebacker out of South Carolina. All right, he's not like your typical edge rusher, but he stands out as someone that I think can play everywhere. He's my favorite player that I've watched so far is just an individual on the defensive side of the ball. And I think for the Lions, like, you could set him in. He could potentially play some of the Barnes role at some point. I think he'd be fantastic off the ball. I know it's not like the pure pass rusher need, and that's actually the area that I think he needs the most work, but I just love the fit of him in Detroit.
So
that's a lot.
No, you're good. We had somebody walk in here just now. I got thrown off by that one. What offensive guys, since you were like paying most attention on the offensive side of the ball, do you think the Detroit Lions could use in this draft class? I mean, is it offensive lineman, or they're looking at another wide receiver?
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I think receivers had a pretty good spot for this year's draft. Like, I think there's some real diversity in what the Lions could go after for different types. But for me, I'm thinking definitely offensive line. I think we're all kind of with that thinking in terms of if there was a need offensively, it's probably offensive line. But I think the Senior Bowl usually is a disaster for offensive linemen. Usually the offense looks completely a mess. And for 2 days in practice, it kind of felt that way. Like, yeah, these are really good, talented players on their side. It's a disaster. But I think as the week went on, a couple of guys just separated themselves, and you just found consistency in their game. Obviously, Gray Zabel had, like, the week. I mean, he was fantastic. This dude played tackle, stepped in the guard. And if you landed somebody like that, I'd be okay with that in the first round. I know it's not usually how you do things when you may have your starters at guard, but it's like if we did something like that, I'm completely on board with it. I think there's a few offensive linemen that kind of fall into that category for this year, especially for talking with the top pick. But I also think that tight end shouldn't be overlooked. It might be one of the best tight end classes we've ever seen. And I think at the Senior Bowl, we got to see guys like Spannon out of Bowling Green that as days went on, he just got better and better. I think that position, again, has a lot of like true route runners this year. And I think for the Lions there, it's just not a position that I would overlook, which is how deep it is. That day 3, someone slips through, we grab another tight end.
I don't hate that, but we know that edge rusher is probably the only position of need on this team, really, when you're looking at the right now.
Feels
Obviously,
like
you want to fill in that interior offensive line going forward, but as of right now, I would say edge rusher is the one. Mike Green, that was a guy that went in there. He blew a couple dudes up and then went home the next day. Like,
yeah.
What was like the aura around Mike Green that first day of the Senior Bowl?
Dude, Mike, that's hilarious, man, because everybody that I was with loved Mike Green. Like, we didn't know that many players coming in, but everybody's like, man, I can't wait to see Mike Green. And they would show me the clips. Like, we were there live. I'm watching it. And they would show me the clips after, like, yo, did you see this play? I'm like, dude, we were watching that play happen. So I seen the play. My thing with Mike Green was, I think what impressed me the most, because, coming in that, my only experience was watching him against Ohio State. And I was like, okay, they're running the ball a lot, but it didn't feel like he couldn't handle it. Obviously, he's not really built that way, but I thought he played well. And you go into the Senior Bowl, and I thought early I didn't see as much production as I was expecting for how much buzz was around him. But I think what stood out was as the days went on, he got so much better, and he was so productive against the run. Like, he had just stretches of stopping the run, which stood out to me. Obviously, he had the play where he ran over an offensive lineman. I don't even remember who that offensive lineman was. Was it Connerly? He ran over an offensive lineman.
Yeah, it's Connerly.
That was Connerly. And Connerly's really good. Like, Connerly had some struggles, I think, towards the he's really nice this year. But I think the big thing that stood out was Mike Green showed a much more well-rounded package, and that kind of speed to power, that kind of thing. He's super twitchy, and I thought he leaned into that as it went on. But the run defense, which stood out for me with Mike Green, got him in my good grace a little bit. I don't buy the top 10 idea right now. Maybe I just need to watch more. I don't buy that at all. But, yeah, if we're talking potentially could slip into the first round, I think that could be on the table.
What about Josiah Stewart? This is a guy that is mocked around where the Lions will be picking, late first, early second kind of guy. You interviewed him personally. What did you see that stood out from him at practice and then even with your interview?
What did he smell like?
Yeah. Was he cute?
Look, I'm trying to remember because if I really – he's got like the afro thing going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm standing next to him like, all right, he is not much taller than me, but those dudes are like massive, bro. Like it's like, all right, they live in the weight room. It looks like. He was a really cool dude, but I think the thing that stands out was Josiah was one of the most consistent players I thought the entire time there. I thought coming in, Josiah just had true limitations to his game, but the fact that he won against some of the better tackles that were there, I thought he was one of the most consistent players on the field defensively through every single day that he was there. And then he didn't play in the game. He had like a little bit of an injury that popped up, but I love Josiah Stewart. I think that he'd be a fantastic. I don't think I'd go round 1 because I don't think there's enough upside there. I don't even know if I'd go to round 2 for that, but maybe I move up in round 3, that kind of area. I think he'd be fantastic for it because I think he's a pretty high floor player. I don't know what his ceiling gets to, but I think he's very high floor. And just a side note to that, like I think would be a great spot because I know you just brought up edge rusher. These guys that can play inside and outside is what I think this draft is built for. Like It's built for the Lions to have dudes that are like 290, right, that can step in, play over a guard, and then play defensive end. I think it's perfect. There's guys like Savion Jones, who I like, that at LSU that did some work. There's a lot of guys that fall into that category this year. I think it's a great year to need that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask is I got a guy.
Fuck me.
Just a follow-up question. Relax, buddy. There's a guy I like that we're gonna spotlight guys we like later, and he fits that build. And that's Josiah Stewart's 6'1", 250. Like, is he even going to be on the Lions' radar? Because they normally don't go after guys like that are only going to be specific. He does this, and that's all he's going to do.
I think the positive for Josiah that I look at is, while I think there's a ceiling to where he can get to as a pass rusher, I think his skill set translates well. I think of like Isaac Ukwu, and I think he's better than Isaac Ukwu, but I think he had a skill set that in preseason would translate. Like, this can work, right? There's limitations, but the way that he goes about his process, the long arms, physicality, winning through half man, like, that thing's going to translate. I think Josiah Stewart constantly was that guy in practice. He played right through that mold. I think the big thing is you go back to Michigan, even though he's maybe a little bit on the shorter side, but I think he does well is he was really good with, like, the small things. Like, against the run, played with really good hands consistently. He also had good athleticism to get back into coverage. So he's been into some of those roles that if you're like, hey, we want you to drop, we want you to stand up on the line. If we are asking some flexibility, at least we've seen it on film. Some of these other guys, you're just projecting based on their skill set because they just never did it in college that are maybe even built a little bit better for it. But at least Josiah has put it out there. So I like Josiah. Again, I think there's a limitation to it. But overall, I think that some of the concerns for me didn't show up as much, and I thought he was super productive.
Now, I wanted to ask about a guy that didn't have the college production, but fits the Brad Holmes type. I don't know if you know Moto. He likes some big. I think like Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell operate in the same way.
Moto likes
Shamar Stewart, 6'5", 280. Could maybe play a little defensive tackle. But that reminds me of Josh Pascal, who they really liked and took in the second round. Could you see him surviving until like pick 28, and do you see him as a pick for the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, I think that I don't think I'd be surprised if he got to pick 28, to be honest with you, this season. But he definitely fits into that mold. Like, I saw your text. You texted me Shamar Stewart, just the name alone. It's like, I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. If I had the first impression, like, seeing it live, I was like, oh, snap, that looks like the kind of guy that we'd go after. Like, you think of Davenport, you think it's like, that looks like a guy that fits for the Lions. So I think stylistically, I'm with you. I think that's the thing that's great about this class, right? So guys who play inside, outside, I think he's more set for the outside, more set for true defensive end roles. But Shamar stands out. Like, he looked athletically just more explosive, bigger. I mean, he was another guy that was super productive. I don't think he had as many like stretches of cooking, but he had showed like, okay, he's built a little bit different. So I think that he'd get there to the Lions at this point. Could be wrong on that. I think at this point, I believe that he'd get to our spots, and I think he'd be on the table.
And who do you think was the guy that improved his draft stock the most at the Senior Bowl? There's one of those guys every year. I can't remember who it was last year. It was Jaden Reed. It was Jaden Reed a couple years ago, where it's a guy that goes out there and they really show out the Senior Bowl. Wasn't Mike Green, even though he's only played 6 snaps and was there for one day.
Sure.
But who was the guy that, like, because of his performance in the Senior Bowl, you could see him shooting up a round or two?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think probably for me, a guy like, man, there's a couple, like Jared Ivey, he was incredibly productive on the line specifically. I don't know if any of the linebackers really jumped their stock based on what they did. It just maybe Kaiser a little bit, showing some real flexibility. But I think on offense, for me, it was Jalen Royals. The concerns I had about him, none of it showed up when I watched him. The play speed was there, and obviously Tez Johnson maybe was the most productive player on either side of the ball. And I think those guys are like built to cook at the Senior Bowl. They're just hard to deal with one-on-one. And he would just take over red zone drills. Like, all right, this guy's pretty amazing. So I think that he's going to help his stock. Again, I think there's going to be a tap ceiling to that. But I thought Jalen Royals specifically for me, even though he didn't produce like the other guys there, it was the route tree that he showed that he could win literally every single level. And the one pass breakup that he had was a guy towards the end that actually took off for me, Sebastian Castro out of Iowa. He was one of the DBs that, as the week went on, him and Azarie Thomas, I think that's how you pronounce his name, Azarie Thomas out of Florida State, had a great last day. He and Sebastian Castro kind of took off in the back end, and I think that a lot of it had to do with the big pass break that he had on Jalen Royals.
Dion, you've done a tremendous job the past 2 years covering the draft. This year, obviously, literally being at the physical Senior Bowl, that was, as your friend and a fan of yours, that was awesome to see.
It's awesome, man.
That's sick.
I'm your friend too.
How about a name that people know? Since you got to see a little bit of this draft class, would you sacrifice that pick 28 and next year's pick 32 to go get yourself a Myles Garrett?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with this. Like, I think it's definitely going to take that, right? Like, I feel like, oh, what if it's the first, third? And it's like, nah, I don't think that's going to do it, man. But I think for me, it's obvious. It's going to come down to more to me contract and draft picks. I think if you told me you had to give up 2 first-round picks, but the contract was how you would need it to be done, I'd be like, yeah, I can make that work. We'll give up the 2 picks. We'll do it. I would love to see it, and I even think that Khalil Mack trade, as much as it's like a cause for concern, because it's like, well, look, it didn't go well. It was on the path to going well, and then he got hurt. He was never really healthy, and they didn't have a quarterback. My thing is I think for the Lions side of things, is it's truly going to come down to contract, and I think that the only way something like this is possible is I'm assuming he's going to want an extension, and I don't think that I would be surprised if Miles did this, because I think he wants best of both worlds, which is going to be rare, but somebody will probably do it. Is that he would have to be willing to leave the Lions with a lot of flexibility after the first 2 years. Like, hey, if you're going to give us a big contract, we essentially have to have a pretty clear out to just move you after 2 seasons. I think that's really maybe after the 3rd year. To me, that's the only way that this goes down. I would be surprised if he's stuck on his original contract. Lions probably wouldn't want to do that. But either way, I think if you're going after Miles, my perception is you're kind of biting the bullet on it's a 2-year deal, it's a 2-year rental. It stinks because you're going to have 2 first-round picks essentially for a 2-year rental. But he's also not just another player, right? Like, this is the best pass rusher over the last 10 years. Okay, this would be the best 2 pass rushers on the football field we've ever seen at the same time. I think that's, like, it, hands down, no question.
Yeah.
So I think that this guy puts himself in a different category. And 29 years old, it's fine to go 2 years. It's a big jump. It's a big leap to take. But my thing is, as long as the contract gives you a massive out so that the Lions can say, okay, a couple years in, we're trading you away. Let me get something back. That we're not just getting a comp pick. Let me get something back in return, and then you're just going to have to go elsewhere, and they're going to have to guarantee you some money. I think it's the only way that this could shake.
And there's another guy that has been in the news and has been rumored to the Detroit Lions via trade. Another aging star, a guy that is Nick, our sound guy's personal favorite player of all time, a guy that has been referred to as the Great White Hope. Cooper Kupp is now, because the Rams said they're going to trade him. Obviously, the Les Snead, Brad Holmes thing, the Jared Goff, Cooper Kupp. Is that all it is? Is just familiar faces on the Lions that are like, oh, they've hung out with Cooper Kupp before. Maybe he'll go there. Because this doesn't make any sense to us. Does it make any sense to you?
Yeah, I think that's maybe what it is. I mean, I don't know if it was a year or 2 ago. You are like, this came up before too. This is a conversation. I think at least a couple years ago, it was more like, hey, this is really interesting because what Cooper Kupp had just did, this guy is pretty darn awesome. I think now my thing is with it is I don't buy into the idea that, like, it can't work. Like, if you put Kupp on this team, oh, man, they're 2 slot guys. Like, I don't buy that.
Yeah.
You know, in today's NFL, he can the ball and separate, right? He can move. He's a move piece. He was in motion more than anybody else by far this past season. You could make it work stylistically. I think the issue is obviously the price point. Sounds like the Rams are going to eat some of that. He'd have to take legitimately just a straight pay cut. I think if the Lions acquired him, like a major pay cut. And then the other aspect is he still has areas which he's really good. And I think there's always a foundation. You know what Kupp's going to do well with. He'll separate underneath. But the problem is he's not much of a run after catch threat anymore. I mean, this past season, outside of our game, he didn't look like he could do anything with the ball in his hands. He's never been really a vertical threat, but I think the problem now is anything that's beyond an underneath pass where he just ate last season and essentially did nothing else, he wasn't very impactful. Like, he had issues separating from guys at the top of routes, which is not normal against man coverage. So I think there's a role for him. I think a team could be very beneficial, and if he came in with our number 3 and we could make it work because of Jamo's contract and he took a big pay cut, yeah, I think it'd make us better. But I think that he'll probably get paid too much, and I don't think the Lions would jump on giving him anything in the realm of day 2. I think it would have to be like a day 3 pick swap, and you're taking a big pay cut, and that's how this goes down, if it's even on the table.
Dion, because it's been a long time since we had you on the show with our audience. What are your letter grades for the Detroit Lions hirings at the coaching spot? So obviously we lost Ben Johnson, traitor, hate him, Osama Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
You lost Aaron Glenn. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, love you, AG.
But what are we gonna do? And what do you think of Tanner Strand departing?
Strange child. Yeah. Neither of his parents wanted him.
What's with that? Wait, why do you hate Ben but love Aaron Glenn?
Ben's a communist.
Yeah, simply put, he hates black people.
He does.
I've read that somewhere.
Yeah, allegedly.
So we got beef. No, he's a Chicago Bear.
He's a Bear.
Like, he definitely deserving the job. Deserving to pick whatever job he wanted to. I think he'll be a good coach. But if you pick the Chicago Bears as a Detroit Lions fan, like I'm sorry, I wish you nothing but the worst.
Yeah, dude. for what I think it's going to be really fun. Like I think we're all excited for that. When next year comes, he's talking trash to the Packers like crazy, and I'm like, all right, I'm kind of here for this. Like this is going to make the division fantastic next year. I think the Morton one was like super sneaky for them to just kind of slide in, and be like, let's go bring John Morton back. I don't know that I ever envisioned it was actually a real possibility, but I think looking at it, it actually makes a ton of sense. I think tying him along with he slipped my name now, dude from Stanford, slipped my name,
David
passing
Shaw.
coordinator. David Shaw, good look. So I think tying those two together is I appreciate it. I think tying those two together is perfect. I think David Shaw's way of how he kind of visualizes how you should play the game offensively, how much of his game is dictated through the run game and how much of what he does in the passing attack is set up through that. And then you get John Morton. Obviously people are like, oh, he throws the ball too much, that kind of thing. But I think stylistically it fits perfectly for Jared Goff. It's like, yeah, this is who he's kind of worked with, is guys like this. And then David Shaw, kind of the same exact thing. And David Shaw has also just put tons of quarterbacks in the NFL. So I think that the true goal obviously was like make Goff comfortable, getting a guy that's already been there. I think it's a great way to make Goff comfortable is to go that direction. And it makes a ton of sense. I think Morton's sneaky. I'm happy that he's getting another chance because, I mean, he didn't get much of a chance with the Jets. Nope. He got moved off because of philosophy reasons, but everything was better when he was with the Jets. The quarterback had the best season of his career, so it's not like he had a bad stint. It's just like, yeah, this is not how we want to do things. And I think for the Lions, that carries have went up every single year. They're going to stay true to that. I think Dan Campbell's going to dial that in because David Shaw's here, and I think it helps that those two are going to be tied to each other. So I like the offense move, to be honest. I don't know what Inkster would have looked like. So I kind of like that there's at least some background here, maybe even more than Inkster, just because I don't know what it had actually been. And I think the defensive side is the more interesting one because I think defense had a chance to go outside of, I don't know where you guys were. I think that one had a better chance to go outside of house, get someone different for that spot. And I think that the Lions, I think that they can be better, schematically in certain games defensively. But I think the benefit of Kelvin Shepard is the fact that he's been through the entire ride with Glenn, which most of our defensive guys haven't been. He's done a really good job with his groups. He's had to deal with outside backers that stayed on the line. He's had to deal with the off-ball guys. They've all really developed. And I think that him being with Aaron Glenn means a lot because I think that Glenn has learned so much over the years, and he obviously has that foundation of what they want it to look like, but there's been adjustments for the new little details and wrinkles added every year. And I think that Kelvin Shepard being a part of that, the hope is that he'll carry that torch directly and that he'll be the next guy that's kind of looking at it the same way where let's keep building on what we have built here. Because the Lions defensively, they weren't like one of those teams that lose their defensive coordinator and needs a fresh start. They didn't need a Dennis Allen, in my opinion. They needed a guy that was probably going to carry the torch forward because everything was really going the right direction outside of the run game defense. And that just had games, even with Glenn, where we would just be terrible. Like I thought we had terrible game plans at times to get run. And I'm hoping that our new defensive line coach is going to help us because if you look at what Tampa did against Washington, they had a really good plan for their run game. We, on the other hand, looked like we didn't know what we were doing against the run.
And Dion, like Easy said, we haven't had you on the show in a while. There's some important questions we need to ask you. Could I get your letter grade on my mustache?
He's on a phone call.
Snap.
He's still seen it before. We're friends.
Well, no, it's a 10. It's a 10. You know what I mean? I mean, look, if you've seen my mustache, which I know people have because
they are better than Dion's mustache.
Look, man, it's crazy. So if I'm viewing mine as like a solid 9.75,
okay,
there's no other way that it has to be a 10. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm striving for is something like that. Now, personally, right, I might dye my mustache if it was like that. Right, I'm just gonna be honest. Like I'd probably make it like super colorful or something. That
you might dye it?
Point out, like, look at that. Yeah, dye it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he's got a blue mustache. What's going on there? Like
that'd be pretty cool.
That's aggressive.
The table. And I don't know if you ever considered that. But
it's like some Jaden Smith stuff.
Yeah, like St. Brown does with his head. Just do it to your mustache. Do something along those lines. That's what I'm thinking.
That's fair. I don't think I want to dye my mustache.
What color would you?
Like maybe
you
we
should dye
really
blonde. That'd be kind of hard, honestly.
Maybe.
That'd be hard as hell. If you should do it.
Then people would think I'm trying to be Hulk Hogan and call me racist.
Yeah, but he had blonde hair too. You have to dye your hair blonde.
Yeah, that's true. The silken hair of
an
Asian man.
Dion, man. Obviously covering the draft for Roundtable. How often are you going to be making content for them this year? And I mean, where can we find you and your draft content?
Yeah, man. Well, off season kind of dies off a little bit for Roundtable. I mean, they're doing events right now. We'll have a couple shows in there, I'm sure. I don't even know what the schedule's looking like until the draft really picks up. We'll do a couple through the off season. But for me, man, it's get right into the draft stuff. Like I'll be doing draft stuff for Roundtable specifically. Our draft show will take off. So for me, it's just leaning into the draft, and that's something that I haven't really done to a very aggressive, extent in the past. Like I've kind of dabbled in it, but like this year, my plan is to go very heavy content-wise to the draft. Kind of see what happens, man, because I love covering it, love talking about it. So that's my plan.
All right, then our sound guy Nikki Sins also has a question for you as well.
Dion, talking to the Don at the Senior Bowl. A lot of the chat wanted to know, do you guys think he gets drafted? And what was it like just talking to him? Did he look back at his college experience well?
Yeah, dude. That was like the coolest interview, man. That was like the chillest dude I think that we ran across there. He was awesome. I think that Donovan Edwards surprised me a little bit, right? Like, I think for Michigan fans, there's not like a great taste, right, to what you're pointing out production-wise. But the immediate thing he brought up is like, hey, but we beat Ohio State. You know what I mean? Like, he brought that up to me like immediately there. So he was super cool about that, how they ended the season, and he always looked like he had a great attitude the entire time there. I think the thing that I love with Donovan Edwards is I think that he has a chance to be better in the NFL than college, and I'm going to roll with that. Like, maybe that's not doesn't seem like a super high bar to set, but I think his skill set that was utilized at Michigan could be better utilized in the NFL. And that's why I asked him about the pass game, because, I mean, honestly, like, he looked like one of the best route running. He might have been the best route running back. He just dropped like 3 passes. He fumbled the ball. It's like, all right, let's get that right. But he definitely is separating like crazy. So, I mean, out of so much ugliness and pass protection from these running backs, I think that's something that's truly going to translate to the NFL, and I think that could lead him to being more successful in a specific role in the NFL. So I'm fired up for him.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks. I think he'll be a better pro than he was a college back, but he definitely showed up in those big games. Can't take anything away from the Don. He did his job as a highly touted recruit coming out.
Last one, Dion. Are you blaming the play calling or the turnovers?
For the playoff loss?
Yeah.
I mean, I got to pick one. I can't say both.
You got to pick one.
Gun to the head or dyeing your mustache.
Here's what I would do. Here's what I would do, right? Because I think I know why you're laying this out. You're saying play calling. I think you're coming at this from an offensive approach, right? Because if you're just asking me play calling versus turnovers, I'd blame play calling because I'd mainly blame it on defense. I thought our plan was horrible. I mean, we couldn't stop the run. It was like 2nd and 3 every single second down. I thought we just had a bad plan. I think we had to be more aggressive, and I wasn't mad at the screen that we gave up on a touchdown. I think if Amik Robertson's in the game or something, we get a stop there. But I thought the disaster of being so inefficient against the run, even when things started to go right against the pass, we never felt it because every first down was like, oh, it's 2nd and 3. All right, try to get off the field. 3rd down and short, not a lot of creativity there either. Dave Daniels was great, but that to me was the biggest issue. That being said, though, offensively, play calling versus turnovers, absolutely turnovers. Now, I didn't have an issue with the play calling offensively, honestly, at all. I like the trick plays. 4 or 5 of them hit. One of them, J-Mo shouldn't have threw it. But, bro, we turned the ball over like 4 times. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's not great. You know what I mean? I can understand some of them. I thought the first one was a disaster. That was a pick 6. That was just a bad decision late. But the one in the end zone, like, I could understand why he was getting there with it. It's just overall, like, I think the defensive play calling was the biggest issue.
I'm with you on that one. Dion, man, I appreciate you taking the time, brother.
I appreciate you having me, man. You know, the phone call is kind of cool because I feel like I'm really chilling right here. Like, I'm looking at your ex, right? I'm looking at Thanos now. I don't even know how he popped up on the screen, but this is like a really cool way to do this, man. You guys
Dion's got his pants off, feet up on the desk.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Plucking his toe jam.
100%. I'm thinking this is fantastic. I love it, man. Thank you guys for having me, man. It's been too long.
Hey, we appreciate you as always, brother.
Love you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. We got to catch up on these ad reads. We went well over that one.
Yeah, tell us about Mark White.
Shout out Dose to Dion. Mark White gonna change your life. Mark White gonna do you right. Yeah. Mark White. Give him a call today. He'll save you up to $5,000 in closing costs of your brand new home. Visit markwhitesales.com or dial 248-290-8242. It's markwhitesales.com. And Jars Cannabis, guys, is a brand new read because they're doing brand new things. Snowboarding and skiing competition at the actual location. There's free entry, free food, and Stick and D-Mac will be on the 1s and 2s commentating the entire thing. It's at Jars Utica on February 22nd from 1 to 5 p.m. I know I'll be there. It's a Jars Rail Jam. Make sure you guys pull up.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Congratulations to the real coach of the year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza. Make sure you guys check it out. Visit Soroki's.com to find one here. You got 7 different flavors of signature wings. If you're not doing your game day or the big game with Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza, you don't know ball and you're doing it wrong. Visit Soroki's.com. What up, though? Welcome back to the Whatever Waits Live on WoodSports.com. I'm the boy Easy Joke by Smorek.
Shad216 in the Woodward Sports chat says, Dion didn't say he loves you back.
Is it Shad or Shad?
Dion Shad said that he loved you back.
He said
he loved you back.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I shouldn't just put myself out there like that, guys. I'm an emotional creature. That's just how I operate. You saw how pissed I got talking about the possible Cooper Kupp trade. You know?
Stephen JD24.
I marginalized my whites. I don't want another one.
Lost.
Stephen JD24 with the super chat. He said, thanks for the great late night show last Friday. There wasn't as much kissing as I hoped for, but it was a blast.
That was Steve that kept sending that.
Is it? Was
yeah,
it?
remember he sent one and said, play spin the bottle.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
God.
Hey, maybe next time.
Shout out Steven.
Shout out to Steven. Shout out to all you guys. Shout out to Sandy. Sorry for getting short-tempered with you. She started it.
I'm not
all
looking back
right,
on
you want to do our
anything.
player prospect or a prospect highlight now?
Yeah, I'm down for whatever.
All right, because Dion mentioned mine. Now me and Easy have done this over the past couple of years here. You know, we're grizzled veterans at this game now, and there is a couple prospects you look at in this draft. There are a couple guys that you look at in this draft that would fit the Detroit Lions very well, especially at 28. It's guys that you could see late first, early second, different guys like this. And Dion actually mentioned the guy that I highlighted when he was talking about people that impressed him at the Senior Bowl. Easy's not going to like him off namesake alone. Jared Ivey.
Are you kidding me?
Jared Ivey out of Ole Miss. He's a 6'6", 284.
The 2 guys I hate.
23-year-old out of Ole Miss. This is a guy, he could play inside, he could play outside. He does a lot of things very well. He's been very productive at Ole Miss. As a junior, he had 46 tackles, 12 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks. As a senior, he had 42 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, and 7 sacks. Like I said, this could be a guy you get in the second round as kind of a Josh Pascal replacement. You talked about how they like the versatility of the defensive linemen, Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell. They like those guys that you can either put inside, you can put them outside. They can do different things. They're not kind of stuck into one box of, oh, he has to be a pass rusher. Oh, he has to do this. He has to do that. Jared Ivey is a guy, like I said, 6'6", 284 pounds. He's a big body out there. He has good bend for his size. He has a good move around the edge for his size. He is very good at using his long arms and his strengths to hold those blocks out and see where the running back goes. If he's going inside, if he's going outside, he does very good with that with his handwork on offensive tackles and offensive linemen. He's very good at setting the edge and stopping the run out there. I think this is a guy that they're going to target. I think this is a guy that fits fits the players they like, fits the kind of guy they like on the edge, and I could see them getting him in the second round, if not the first round. Jared Ivey out of Ole Miss, I think, is a guy to look out for. I think he's someone that Brad Holmes and these Detroit Lions are going to target.
I don't disagree with you. That's actually a lot of the same reasons I chose my prospect as well, Shamar Stewart. And I know I put this out on Twitter a little bit earlier last week, and our guys Lucas and Booner got to speak on it as well, and they just didn't like the college production. He only has a total of 4.5 sacks out of his entire collegiate career.
Nick's out.
Nick's automatically out. But here's the thing.
Sell me this pen, Easy.
I'm trying to process this through the eyes of Brad Holmes and not my own. And he loves the big edges. Spinny spoke on your same size.
Yeah.
Damn there. 6'5", 290 pounds, can play inside, can play outside, extremely long arms, and he's only 21 years old. Extremely quick off the line as well, plays the run. The only disappointment I guess I had in him is the fact that he went to Texas A&M. That's kind of known for just pumping out these dog-ass defensive linemen. So I kind of did want to see the production along there, especially he had other guys too. Nick Stoughton that was on there with him too. Another Shamar on the defensive line as well. There's a couple guys there in Texas A&M.
Walter Nolan was there to start.
Shamar Stewart. I think he's exactly what Brad Holmes looks for. Not even necessarily Brad Holmes. This may be more of a Dan Campbell philosophy or an Aaron Glenn philosophy. Yeah, they want to pressure the quarterbacks. They want to seal every single gap. That way they can't run through them. Or obviously you want to stop the run of those situations too. But also you can get to the quarterback that way as well. I think you have that type of guy they want alongside Aiden Hutchinson on the defensive line. This is it. Now the only thing, talk about Mike Green going home early. You saw the tape right there. Shamar Stewart went home early as well, which in my opinion means those guys aren't going to make it to 28 if they have good combines and obviously don't do anything stupid before the draft. I just don't. Initially, I thought he was going to get there. I saw him in a couple mocks fall to us, but now after he left the Senior Bowl a little bit early, I don't know if he makes it to us, man. Only 21 years old. The ceiling is here.
Yeah. And this is a guy like Tyree Wilson. Remember, he was in talks with the Lions, and we thought it was a little too high for where the Lions were at that year.
I hated Tyree Wilson.
But now, with them being at 28, that's the kind of guy you're going to get. You're not going to get this perfect prospect that checks every single box at 28. No. It's just not going to happen.
And if I'm being honest, I think Shamar Stewart's a hell of a way better prospect than Tyree Wilson.
Yeah.
Tyree Wilson, as clear as day, could not get off the line watching on tape. What's his problem at the NFL level? Can't get off the line. It's like when we watch Broderick Martin, we're like, he's big, but he's kind of high.
Yeah.
What's his issue now? He stays high.
Who knows?
Gets blocked. Shamar Stewart has he has the burst. He has the arms. He has the size. It's just a matter of, I guess, getting him to a pass rush plan, teaching him these extra moves to make. Because, that looks good on tape at the Senior Bowl, bull rushing through guys, but it's not going to work every single time at the NFL level.
Yeah. And that's what you could expect them to draft a guy like that more than you can a Josiah Stewart.
Yeah, or a Mike Green.
Or a Mike Green. Yeah. Those guys that are specific one-trick ponies that are edge rush guys that are a little undersized. They've proven that that's not the type of guy. They look at everybody that they put opposite of Aiden Hutchinson so far, outside of James Houston, who's no longer on the team, surprisingly. You had Josh Pascal, you have Zadarius Smith, you have Marcus Davenport. These are big body guys that can play the run as well. So that's how I expect them to do it, and that's how I expect them to continue drafting their edges. And that's why I think Jared Ivey, I like him, man. I like him a lot.
He seems more plausible than Shamar Stewart at this point. I think Shamar is going to go top 20 before it even gets to us. But
really?
Yeah.
You think he's going top 20?
He's going top 20.
4.5 sacks. You don't think it matters at all, just based on the based on the athletic build here?
Yes. 21 years old, ceiling's high. The burst off the line of that size is, you don't teach that. Remember, because it's not just big guys too. Like we talked about Detroit native, it was DeMarcus Robinson, I believe his name was. I couldn't fall in love with him because he was lacking that burst. He had the motor, but he didn't have the athletic traits. I felt he'd be better suited as a defensive tackle. And I don't know that he was really super productive at all this year, too. I think he got drafted to the Cardinals or whatnot. This kid, you could carve into an absolute demon. And it could be either at edge or it could be a defensive tackle, or you could bounce him around the same way they've been doing with Josh Pascal. I don't think he makes it to 28. If he does, I think Brad Holmes hit that one out of the park. Again, the only thing though was the big defensive end and AG philosophy more so than Brad Holmes.
We'll
and Dan
see
Campbell.
because they have all those tweener type guys, Pascal, Kaminsky, O'Connor, Levi. All those guys are free agents. So even if it wasn't a philosophy of what Calvin Shepard likes, you need guys to fill that role. You need guys that are able to play those positions, and you got 4 of them as free agents right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Josh Pascal's a free agent. It fucking sucks.
Is he? I don't know.
Oh, no, I thought you just said it.
Yeah, I did just say it, but I might be.
Yeah, I think he was in Hutch's draft, right?
Yeah.
So we go Hutch, J-Mo, Pascal. I think we're fine for another year.
We got him.
Pascal's got 1 more year. Yeah.
All right, cool. I was gonna say
he's a UDFA in 2026.
Start freaking me out a little bit. All right, we got to pay some bills. Tell us about Caesars.
Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Make sure you tap in. Use code word Woodward 1000 to get your first bet up to $1,000 as a risk-free bet. Scan that QR code right there and get the Caesars Sportsbook app. Again, code word Woodward 1000 will get you up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't cash. Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Get the best Detroit sports merch in the game with Woodward Sports. Click that shot tab today. Hoodies, tees, hats, all of that. Every single team represented. Constantly getting new merch updated throughout the year. Woodward Sports is your best place for Detroit sports merch.
What up, though? Welcome back to What Are the Weights live on WoodwardSports.com. I'm Joe by Small Reaction. Chris Crash Out Kohloff, a.k.a. Nikki Sins. We got a super chat from Sergeant. Where'd it go? Sergeant Curtis Schultz, Star Wars. I can't see the full name here. Either way,
yeah.
Shout out.
It
says top 5 donuts local. Must have, please. Detroit Donut is, once you cross over in Detroit from down here off Woodward, crack.
Yep. There's a Detroit Donut by my house.
The Detroit Donut I'm sorry. That's a Detroit Donut. I apologize. Dutch Girl Donut. Have you had them?
No.
Fucking... I didn't get it. I'm like, why is there a line for like this fucking donuts? Isaac was one to tell me to go get some, and I was all right. I got you. It was crack.
Yeah.
I think it's like glazed ones that they do, or like whatever house one they have is like the best. Supposed to be like the best donut in Detroit. Whatever.
Donut Castle at like 13 and Hoover's really good.
Never been.
They got good bagel sandwiches too.
There's another. There's one up here on Woodward. The donut spot.
I've never been to that one.
Dunkin'
Donut
Donuts.
Cutter.
No, not
I
Dunkin'
think it's called
Donuts.
Donut Cutter. I've never been to that one. There's a one on Jefferson in Detroit. Honestly, best donuts I've ever had by far.
What's it called?
Yellow Light.
Yellow Link?
Yellow Light, as in not green light. It's a yellow light, red light. There we go.
The Dilla Donut spot
And
was dope, too. That was a good one.
Dilla Donuts?
Yeah, after Jay Dilla. But I think that closed a couple years ago. Actually, I think it closed right before
Never
COVID.
heard of it.
Never
It was
heard
a
of
spot
it.
for run by Jay Dilla's family. So it's dope.
It's got fire.
I think the one out here is
biscuits and
called
gravy.
Daily Dozen. Could be wrong. There's one right here on Woodward we pass every day. I've never been there though. Thought about it. Still want to stab her? But shout out to Sergeant Curtis Schultz, Star Wars. I won't let me click the rest of the name.
Xavier D says donut eating contest incoming. I won a donut eating contest in Walled Lake.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
That's baller.
for the greenhouse.
What kind?
They were donut holes, just plain donut holes.
Was it easy or no?
And no, it was tough because they're more like cake than they were donuts. So it was like,
Oh,
Hey,
really get the moisture in there, huh?
mm-hmm.
What up?
79,000.
79,000?
It's been at 78.9 for a minute. We just hit 79,000 subscribers.
Let's go.
Oh, nice. Let's go. I was like, what are you talking about?
Dolo Dynamite wanted it to be known he's trading the 2026, 2027 Hooker for Garrett and drafting Derek Harmon at 28. I did see a mock draft came out today where we had Derek Harmon, the defensive tackle. I'm not as familiar with this game.
Cloak.
That's what I'm going to have to dive into to familiarize myself with.
He's good.
But I'm
He
not
played at Michigan
opposed.
State.
The dog?
He's good. Yeah, he transferred to Miami, I believe, or that might have been Barrow.
Miami.
Him and Barrow both transferred. He either went to Auburn or Miami. I think it was Miami, but yeah, no, he's good. He's a dog.
Big dude? What?
Yeah, big. He's good in pass rush too.
Yeah. I'm trying to catch up on these comments as well. I think they're talking about comparing our guys to
Glory
Ziggy.
Holes is a great donut shop. Look it up, says Danny G. Glory Hole Donut is Jerry Jones' favorite, says Steve Wiles.
I could see that being his favorite. I mean, it would make sense.
C Note 313 says
Oregon. Yeah, he went
donut
to
spot
Oregon.
on 5 Mile and Beach Daily. Like a dope spot, constant traffic.
Go check it out for us, Nick. Walk in there like that.
5 and Beach, you know why I read that comment? Because that's where my mom grew up. So I've been to 5 and Beach plenty of times, Spenny.
When's the last time?
He said my side of
My
town.
grandma passed away like a while ago, so it's been a minute.
You know what's kind of funny is if we did Google the glory hole and we go and it's an actual glory hole, not a donut shop. I think that's hilarious.
Hilarious.
Great one.
That would be hilarious.
Easy's definitely would put his thing in a glory hole.
No, I would not. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you would.
Absolutely would not.
You just gotta think it's a girl on the other side.
No, dude. Your first and foremost,
It
your
could
thing
be
would fall
anything.
off because you don't know how many people visited the same hole that day. Does it get clean? Like, no, absolutely, no, disgusting. Would not.
Where is it?
Yeah, where's this one that you wouldn't go to?
Yeah.
It's at the end of the rainbow. Reading for a couple more comments from Over Sports Chat. I don't see any reactions to our prospects.
No, I don't think people are locked in yet. I think
It's a little too early for the draft
a
stuff.
little too early.
It's all right.
Underwhelming. Give
A
me
little too
Miles
late for
Garrett.
Spenny.
Underwhelming.
Yeah.
Give me Miles.
Give me
All
Miles
of them
Garrett.
are going to be this late.
When is Punchki Day? So, Punchkis suck, dude.
Punchkis do suck.
Like,
I can have like full one. Yeah.
I'm good
I
on
like-
Punchkis.
Are you a Punchki guy?
We had a whole video
Yeah.
about Punchkis.
You love Punchkis?
No.
Oh, I asked if you're a
I'll
Punchki
eat
guy.
them.
You said yeah.
Yeah, no, like I've had them. Like I'll eat them. Like if
Yeah.
they're in my office, I'll eat like half, in the morning, maybe half later. It's just I
Pa-
feel
I
like
want to say
they're right
pause before I finish this statement, or before I say the statement. The only acceptable Punchki is the cream-filled ones.
DNC ENT says
Pause.
I would, not gonna lie. talking about the glory hole.
All right. Moving on.
Nick, would you?
No.
Chris?
No.
Chris definitely would.
Yeah.
All right, I knew that. I knew the second you were going around the room that was going to be
Chris
out.
probably
Was it?
did at Brothers or Pickles.
There's a glory hole on the side of Chris's booth right there.
It's for
Nick, is this you again? Second time
It's for
today.
transporting
Yeah.
things.
Get
It's
out
for
of here.
transportation, guys. It's for transportation.
How much time we got? Because I kind of want to get into the Pistons trade rumors with my guy Chris over there.
We got 4 minutes.
I saw Davion Mitchell was rumored today from Stoney. Shout
Yeah.
out to the OG. That's a pretty solid source there.
Yeah.
Do we have? Are you guys happy with that? Is that what it was?
I would love that.
I like it too because you know what? It leaves enough cap space to also go and get Jose Alvarado, baby.
Hashtag hope for Jose.
Hope for Jose. No, yeah, you don't need obviously both of them because they both kind of do similar things. They're guards that defend. But But yeah, I like him. I mean, he's a defensive minded guard. He'll fit right in with JB. He does have a bit of that junkyard dog, Marcus Sasser type of personality, which I think JB would love. So he'd fit right in with the roster. But obviously, we're hoping for bigger names. We're hoping for CJ McCollum. We're hoping for some of these other names that could be more of a help come playoff time. But if you want to get a couple seconds for a guy like that, sure. I'm not mad at it. I think it's going to end up being a small move. I think Pistons fans are going to be disappointed at the deadline.
Give me Lonzo Ball. Make it happen. Especially after watching him like a little bit Sunday. Like he's still got it.
There was reports that the Pistons are interested in Lonzo Ball, and it wouldn't take much because they're talking about buying him out. So
yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
It would take a pick or two.
There were initial reports where we're not really getting anything. We might buy him out. And it was like, no, we want to keep him, which means somebody was obviously interested in him and they want to get more out of the deal.
Yeah, from Mike Scotto, it says Ball has received trade interest from several teams, including the Memphis Grizzlies, Detroit Pistons, Minnesota Timberwolves, and others. League sources told Hoops Hype.
So say that one more time?
Pistons, Grizzlies, Timberwolves, and others.
Weezy D313, stop naming players. It's not better than Killian Hayes is not an NBA player. All the names above mentioned were miles ahead of Killian Hayes. And Killian maybe could have been an NBA player. I am of the belief the hip injury maybe threw him off a little bit there, but awful basketball player as we speak today. Yeah. At the NBA level. He'd cook us. Yeah. It'd be all four of us against him. He'd win.
Killian over Tyrese Halliburton was the most insane thing. And then Maxey as well.
Tyrese is doing Killian Hayes impersonations right now. Have you seen his box stat?
How do you feel the Kings are feeling after that trade? No regrets?
No. Sabonis is playing way better than Halliburton right now.
Yeah, Halliburton fell off a cliff this year.
He did.
As soon as that video came out, of him shouting out 50 Cent fresh out the club with like 7 white girls, I knew the fall off was coming.
Really?
What were you saying?
I said the Pacers won like 12 of their last 17 games or something like that.
Is Halliburton doing well on them, or is
let's see,
Miles Turner? Well, I used to be a big Miles Turner guy. I hate him now.
Siakam's kind of been stepping up at least against the Stones.
To speak to the Lonzo Ball stuff, I think you can do both. I think you can get from New Orleans, a little trade to get them out of the salary cap. Again, it doesn't have to be Jose Alvarado, but something like that where they throw you a second. I think 1 to 2 seconds is all it takes to get Lonzo Ball. I don't think you need to give up any type of first, nothing. He's an expiring contract after this year. So I think you could actually do both. You could get Lonzo and somebody else. You could get a second-round pick, use that second-round pick, go get Lonzo, and then boom, you basically got Lonzo for free for a half a season. I'm good with that. Yeah. The guy hasn't shown to be able to play more than like 25 minutes, but you don't need him to play more than 25 minutes. So
another big
like
body point guard too, so you run a lot of the same stuff.
Yep. Yeah, I like it. I like it for Detroit. Go do that if that's on the table.
And he plays great defense.
Yep.
He's worked with Fred Vincent before.
He's a fantastic distributor. He's familiar with Fred Vincent and Trajan Langdon.
Yeah, size will help you on the defense alone.
Yes.
Would you rather have him or Davion?
Probably him.
I think so too.
He's a better distributor and can run an offense better than Davion.
Yeah.
I would give up 2 seconds for him in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And by the way, I love LeVar Ball.
Remember
for Lonzo, you would?
Yeah.
The Pistons also have 3 seconds from that Tim Hardaway. So like you could go dip into. They have actually a lot of seconds coming up over these next couple years. So they could flip a couple of those here for a guy like Lonzo that helps you for a half a season. I'm good with that. Maybe you re-sign him next year.
Oh, he's free agent this year?
Yeah.
Who?
So he isn't expiring.
Yeah.
I'd still do it.
Yeah, I'd still do it.
Because I don't think he's getting a crazy bag. This guy had to just learn to walk again. He hasn't proven to play more than 25 minutes. So I'm not trying to disrespect him. I'm happy for his comeback. Hell of a story. But that type of player is not going to get a bag in free agency.
Did you know the day that came out, there was videos of him, I guess he's like a rooftop crib or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, riding a little go-kart. He's perfectly fine. They're just talking he couldn't walk. But you'll talk about that when we get back. We got to pay some bills. Tell us about Lady Jane, Spinny.
Lady Jane's haircuts for men. Make sure you come in. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Have one of our lovely, talented stylists give you an award-winning haircut, a neck shave, scalp massage, or a hot towel treatment. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Looking to buy or sell a car? Nope. New car, new you, Les Stanford. Make sure you tap in. They got the Hummer EV SUV for 24 months with 10,000 miles a year, only $699 a month, $1999 down payment, or a 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 Crew Cab with 10,000 miles a year, 24-month lease, $359 a month, no down payment required. GM discount required for both. Check out Les Stanford's massive inventory. Check out lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Buick GMC.
What up, though? Welcome to World Heavyweights Live on sports.com. He's joined by Spimo Rex, young Chris, Nicholas Kohloff. This guy really makes good points, so I actually want to read this one time he did.
Okay.
Weezy D313. He says, we're going to lose anyway in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Why not just get your experience, go home, keep everything?
Because I would rather trade two second-round picks for Lonzo Ball. They mean nothing anyways.
Yeah. And whose experience are you taking from? Marcus Sasser? No offense, but that's not probably a long-term piece for the team.
I think it just means a playoff experience. Like, just cash on your playoff experience and just...
For sure, but Lonzo's taking Marcus Sasser's spot in the role, so it doesn't really matter.
Randall Smalls with the super chat. He says, Spenny looks like Jake Rogers' cousin that is always touching himself. Who says I'm not?
You can't see his hand, to be fair. I don't actually hate that take, but I want Lonzo Ball. Let's win some games. Maybe a series. Maybe that's the difference. You guys tell me that's what we need.
It's exactly what we need. You had Lonzo Ball yesterday. Malik Beasley would have been in the corner on defense, and instead of Asar switching off Trae Young to Malik Beasley, he would have switched him off to Lonzo Ball.
I feel like, because Asar was about to stick with him too, I feel like Beasley forced that switch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you can't really let Trey get daylight.
That's fair.
So, if Asar wanted to keep him, he would have had to fight harder over that screen.
Fantasy owner of Trae Young here. He does not shoot that well. Like, I would have given him the space to let Asar recover. Asar had him in jail.
Asar had him in jail.
In jail.
He looked pissed.
Yeah.
Once Asar started guard. I'm like, he was like, what the fuck? Where's Cade? All right. So I had a little...
Hand check. Said F you go vegan.
Huh?
F you go vegan said hand check.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I'm touching myself.
Pick one. Oh, I got you. Devin Booker to the Pistons. Myles Garrett to the Lions. Or Alex Bregman to the Detroit Tigers.
I mean, Myles Garrett to the Lions, and it's not remotely close.
Cooper Kupp to the Lions?
No.
I'm fucking
Yep.
Myles Garrett to the Lions, and it's not remotely close. The Detroit Lions are a championship contender. You give them Myles Garrett, they are a Super Bowl favorite. That's all you need to hear.
Can I offer a counter?
No.
Yes.
My counter, I would go, and you know basketball anyways, I'd go Devin Booker to Pistons. Why? Because I think the Lions are getting a Super Bowl without Myles Garrett. I think if that team is even halfway fucking healthy last year, you punch in a Super Bowl. So to me, I'm okay with Brad Holmes having the assets that he would have to give up in Myles Garrett and letting the team cook from there and be healthier. I'm fine with that. I'm confident the Lions are a Super Bowl championship team. I'm very confident in that. Now, I'm not saying don't do the trade. You guys know I'll do the Garrett trade any day. But the Pistons getting Devin Booker, That's a team that could make some real noise this year and going forward for years. I have my faith in the Lions. That's my counter.
Chris, I like where your head's at, and that's why. I mean, this is for sure Myles Garrett.
Yeah, he's the best. He's the best of the three players, and they're in the best situation to win a Super Bowl.
But one guy talks about Detroit a lot that's not on this list, and his name's Max Crosby. Come the middle of the season, you get him for 1.5 years. You get Mad Max instead of Myles Garrett right now, and you cashed in Devin Booker. Bregman being on this list is it shouldn't even be Bregman on this list, as much as I like Alex Bregman.
Yeah.
But this isn't even close.
Is there a hockey equivalent for this for the Red Wings, Spencer, to kind of make this a stretch?
I mean, kind of. Owen Power, Tage Thompson. Those Buffalo's trying to sell.
Get you an Owen Power, baby. Why the Thompson?
Owen, if you got Owen Power and you brought up ASP next year, you'd have the best forward defenseman in the NHL.
I don't think we have what it takes to get him without giving up in ASP.
No.
Without giving ASP, yeah.
But like I said, no, that would be the hockey equivalent of these.
What is that? Because that one's coming in April, or a little
March
before?
7th. Yeah.
What's the deadline looking like? What's the talks over there?
It's not much. You're not hearing much.
Nothing
If they're gonna do anything, they're gonna sell like a Tarasenko or a Comfer or someone like that to free up a spot to bring up a young guy, and that's fine. Like I'm fine with that.
I'm trying to think where they would even put a guy third defenseman, maybe.
Yeah, maybe a 2C. Maybe you want to upgrade your 2C.
True.
Because they talked about Cousins, that would be an upgrade at your 2C. But yeah, I don't see them doing much at the deadline. Maybe, like I said, maybe moving around some of these veteran contracts. But if they get Owen Power, I'd come in my shorts. But I don't think they're going to.
Jeez Louise.
Hand check.
I want to make it interesting, boys. I really do, but I gotta go Myles Garrett.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, him, Hutch, and Aleem. Fuck it, I even throw Reader in there. He had a hell of a season last year on the same defensive line. Come on, they'd have to outlaw the Detroit Lions. They may change rules in the NFL if that line.
The Lion rules.
Yeah, like shit would have to change. I truly believe the offense is going to operate regardless. I would almost going forward, I think the ball might be out of Jared Goff's hands a little bit more now that Jahmyr Gibbs kind of has emerged a little bit. You saw Saquon Barkley call him one of the top running backs in the game. Give me that defensive front. Put the pressure. You hate Jordan Love? Go get Myles Garrett. You hate whoever the fucking Minnesota Vikings put back there? Mm-hmm. Go get Myles Garrett. You want to fuck up everything Ben Johnson does? Go get Myles Garrett. Yep. No matter what he's going to draw up, you got disruption coming from him, Aiden Hutchinson, and Aleem McNeil. Come on now.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett's the answer for me, by far.
Yeah, it's not close. Chris was just trying to be contrarian.
I got to ask you guys, are you scared of the Bears actually landing him?
That would suck.
Because you think
I saw that.
You think Ben Johnson can just add to the offense no matter what, so if you can add an actual guy in.
That's the worst case scenario if they don't get Garrett and he goes to someone else in the north.
Well, the Packers were, I guess, team on the list
Eagles,
as well, too.
I mean, yeah. But
so my thing, though, too.
Bearded lady has a beard.
That'd be worst case scenario.
In my eyes. Did you put that in easy?
I didn't put that.
The bearded lady has a beard.
Oh, the poll?
Yeah.
Chris, you're an idiot.
I did not put that.
Mustached lady?
You know I
Mustached lady.
You know I can't type.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
A lot of you light skins out there too. We've been noticing. You ain't getting away with that. I'm sorry, Nick. What were you saying? I don't respond to it, but
I think it's a real possibility
that he goes to
the Bears.
I think they have some of the most to do with an almost ready-ish made team.
The Packers would suck.
If you're Myles Garrett, you said you want to go to a contender.
Than the Packers, honestly.
Yeah,
you saying the Bears?
Yeah, it's because you're you.
If you're Myles Garrett, would you?
After Jordan Love's
actually go to the Bears?
Choking again?
You want to talk about going to a contender?
No.
You'd be more scared of him on the Packers than the Bears.
The Packers. The Packers are a better team than the Bears.
We don't even know what the Bears are going to be for sure.
You were the one saying this.
You think the Bears are a better team than the Packers?
Ben Johnson. You think Ben Johnson could add a lot to the Bears' offense?
Yeah.
Nick, do you think the Bears are?
Myles Garrett.
Do you think the Bears are a better team than the Packers?
They could be.
With
I don't
Ben
think it's
Johnson,
crazy.
Next year.
I just called out that I think the Bears are going to take a step up and be third, and I think the Packers are going to be below them. So yeah, I did say that.
That's crazy.
Before.
I don't think it's that crazy. It could happen.
I think the Packers are still overrated.
Ben's
Nick
good,
just
man.
hates the Packers. It's fair.
Ben's a good coach, but
think
Nick
he's
does
overrated.
definitely hate the Packers.
Yeah, I think they're overrated.
But Ben's a good coach. Maybe he could. If I'm Myles Garrett, then I'm using the word Super Bowl contender. I just don't know if the Bears are on that list for me.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe the Browns are like, all right, we don't give a fuck. You're trying to leave town. We're getting the best deal that we can.
That's what I would be worried about, is they have a better deal they could put together than a lot of other people because they picked 10.
That could happen. NFL's a lot different than NBA. Although NBA clearly is switching the roles now, too. They don't give a fuck
They
anymore.
don't give a fuck.
Plus, they could pay him with
kinda
Caleb
like
on
it.
the rookie contract.
Too many guys in the NBA making way more money than they're actually worth. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Arf says Spenny going to raise his good eyebrow at you. It's true.
dude, I haven't been able to tell that you've been missing an eyebrow all week.
Yeah.
It really. I told you that night. It wasn't that bad. Except for when you were having deep conversation. I'm just...
When you're just looking right at it.
yeah, the entire time.
Let's go to break. Now, let me tell you guys about New Holland. New Holland Brewing Company, it's great stuff. Like I said, support local, support Michigan companies. New Holland Brewing Company and Taller Long Drink. Taller Long Drink is a gin-based cocktail made with real grapefruit puree. New Holland Brewing Company, you can pick one up at a Total Wine near you. Go check it out.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
The big game requires a big party. Woodward Sports is live for a watch party. They are doing it at Hayes Social, 21 Mile and Hayes in Shelby Township. Book your table today before they are gone. 586-247-2223. Brought to you by 1800 Tequila, Sabbath Coffee, Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza, and New Holland Brewing. It's the big game. Don't miss it.
Weezy D 313. They gonna call you stupid and an effing idiot and tell you that's not the case. You better give up the program and say yes to Garrett no matter what. You goddamn right, Weezy D. No, what did he say?
What happened?
Oh, F you, go vegan. Miles say bye to Kirby and J-Mo after the next few years. No, because they would all be up on the same time. So actually, like I'm actually like, I'm not saying
Nope.
F you and calling you an idiot.
Just
I'm
like
informing
Kupon.
you. I'm being nice about it. That's incorrect.
Call him an idiot.
No, I'm not. Yeah, they all be on a contract. And by the way, too, when you sign these contracts, Cooper Kupp, perfect example.
Eat animals.
The big cap hits don't come until the back end of it. So like, even if you did re-sign those guys, you could still fit Myles Garrett in there.
Eat some animals.
Well,
and the other thing too, F you, go vegan.
Mailbag.
You're gonna have to say goodbye to Kirby or J-Mo, regardless either way. You really think that you're gonna be able to max out Kirby Joseph at an All-Pro safety contract? Max out Aiden Hutchinson? I don't even think the All-Pro got hurt this year, but he's All-Pro caliber defensive end contract. Penei Sewell, highest paid right tackle. Jared Goff, one of the highest paid quarterbacks. Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the highest paid receivers. You're going to have to say goodbye to one of those guys regardless. Why not cash in a Super Bowl while you can with a Hall of Fame defensive end? Mailbag.
That makes sense to me, Easy. Dude, Liv Morgan, wow.
Yeah, she's, I don't remember having those curves like that.
She's got some nice chesticles.
She just presses them up, maybe. I don't know. That's, it's a little trick.
Probably.
Whoa, J-Mo can't go unless he wants out. Then we don't want him.
What?
Says C-No 313. I think he's responding to somebody else. Who would you sacrifice? Says F you, go vegan.
Sam Laporta.
Jameson Williams.
You'd keep Sam Laporta over Jameson Williams?
Yes.
Why?
because your offense was still top 5 without Jamison Williams.
Do you think Sam Laporta is more vital to the offense than Jamison Williams?
Yes.
I disagree.
I disagree with you. I think he blocks. I think he receives. He's a red zone target.
I think you can find a Sam Laporta.
Into the league.
It's hard. You're gonna be hard finding another Jamison Williams.
But we don't need another Jamison Williams. You've been a top 5 offense without Jamison
You don't
Williams.
need a Sam Laporta either. And so if it comes down to the two of them, I would take the one that's harder to find.
I think you need a Sam Laporta more than you need a Jamison Williams, because you got a guy that's blocking and also setting up passes. Just straight up. I mean, obviously contract-wise, Jam will get paid more. It's just a wide receiver thing, but I do think Sam Laporta is more valuable to this offense than Jamison Williams.
I disagree.
Quite
I think
literally
it was shown this year because Sam Laporta regressed and J-Mo took over as the number 2 option.
I don't think Sam Laporta regressed. Just J-Mo arrived.
Yeah, so Sam Laporta didn't do as well as he did last year, which is regressing by definition.
7 touchdowns. That's still pretty freaking good.
Did he have more last year?
It might have been the same. Look it up. Yeah, he might have more last year. Last year he had 10 touchdowns, 889 yards. This year he had 726 yards, so not even that much more or less, and 20 less receptions. He honestly got better on average, and 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, 2 yards better per reception.
Yeah. Give me the pots. No more dual threat. Easy sacrifice in J-Mo, like the Aztecs did it. It's just a reality of the situation. I love J-Mo. Having him here is great, but you asked me a question, who would it be? It's probably him. You've been productive without him multiple times now, 2 times over. That's just like the
with Ben Johnson
life with Ben Johnson, which is fair, but I like what we got now.
And you can keep them all.
I think we will.
Like, you're going to have them all for another 2 years at the very least. So.
And here's the thing, too. Brad's no dummy. He's not Joe Shane, the new Giants GM. Let me just let Saquon walk for nothing. Absolute moron.
Yeah.
That guy's an idiot. If it comes down to it with Brad Holmes in that front office and they're about to lose somebody, you see it done with TJ Hockenson, you saw it done with DeAndre Swift, they're going to trade him. And you're going to get assets back. And then maybe you get, with the guy, if J-Mo keeps, raising up, or if somebody likes J-Mo enough, maybe you get those 2 first back. But like Spenny said, you could have them all for now.
Mm-hmm.
Although
you don't got to worry about any of that just yet. Right now, we're focused on winning a Super Bowl. Right now, you're focused on acquiring more talent to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
I don't understand that stuff too. Like, I'm not worried about the 2027 Detroit Lions. I'm worried about the 2026.
I'm worried about next year.
Yeah,
I'm worried about who's going to help the team next year win a Super Bowl. And all these guys under contract are still going to be here next year. So that's what I'm worried about. Because you're in your Super Bowl window right now. So every year you should be trying to set your team up for the best way to win a Super Bowl that year. And then you worried about the rest later. Your number one goal, your number one focus is winning the Super Bowl.
CT Squid, it's always about money. He's not taking the field without guaranteed money and $19 million for this next year. I tell you what, come in here, I'll guarantee that money.
Mm-hmm.
But it ain't changing. I'll guarantee it for you. I'll throw some void years on it. However you want to do it, we can hook it up, but we ain't changing the cap.
Deciding whether to get rid of one of 2 guys we drafted so we can overpay to get someone we don't even know if he is a dog. Brother.
Who doesn't know he's a dog?
Please tell me you're not talking about Myles Garrett.
Come on, dude.
Who said that?
Bro, he's the best defensive end in the league. He has been his whole career.
He's quite literally the reigning defensive player of the year.
Who said that?
It's just
our guy Rando. Our guy. Rando.
FU Go Vegan says no team has ever won the Super Bowl after losing both coordinators, and the Lions have never won the Super Bowl, so it's just not going to happen ever, I guess.
No team's ever had Myles Garrett and Nathan Hudson on the same defensive line.
That's what I'm saying.
How about that, boy?
I think it was our guy, football guy Al. He posted some tweets about teams that traded first rounders for star players. None of those teams were as good as the Lions are, let alone getting a player of the caliber of Myles Garrett.
No, it's not linear. This stuff isn't linear.
The other thing too is John Morton was here.
Yeah,
in 22. He helped.
Danny G says, and Kelvin Shepard's been here the whole time. Danny G says Myles Garrett is overrated. He only won Defensive Player of the Year. It's true. Should have been MVP.
Danny G's might be trolling.
He is for sure. Yeah.
The videos that Nick posted, I was like, oh, wow. Your OnlyFans.
Oh God, what?
No, Myles Garrett highlights you posted on your Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a freak. He's a freak.
I thought that video was gonna do way better. Didn't do shit.
I'll retweet it for you.
Oh, you're good. Just go check out April.
Reno Smalls, you guys ever been on a team? Yes. What does that have to do with anything, though?
All of us have been on.
Well,
I've been on a team, and guess what? On that team, the best player played.
I'm going to lose my mind. That'll do it for us today. Appreciate you tapping in. Make sure you smash the like button for Easy, for Nikki Sins, for Chrissy P. I'm Spencer. We're the Heavyweights. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Kind of curious to see where that one was going.